Welcome to the Devin and Chris podcast, joined by Claire, scanning copies.
Hello, hello.
I kind of like the name Woods and Water podcast. We talk about the woods, the water, kind of ties in with real estate, ties in with fishing, conservation.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that.
But if you woulda bought crypto a year ago, you'd be sitting kind of nice right now, right?
You'd be doing very nice, especially specifically if you bought Ethereum. You'd be up over 1,000% right now.
That's nuts. My buddy Daryl just texted me this morning. He says, Ethereum's on its way to 10K.
Minimum. We could see 12 to 15K. I believe it was JP Morgan recently put out a price prediction of 15K.
Wow. By the end of this year, or just like that's where it's going to cap?
By the end of this year, they believe it's going to cap at 30.
Well, can you explain, I mean, just for me, because I'm pretty much a dumbass when it comes to cryptocurrency. I just know that it's something good to get into. So it's always good to talk to people that actually know what it is and how it works.
Well, so it's kind of a big question, as you have a lot of different projects it's kind of a big, broad question, as you have a lot of different projects that are focusing on different parts of the blockchain technology. You have assets like Bitcoin, which are more of just a store of value. You have projects like Ethereum, which are going to move towards more of a new system. We're going to see it's moving away from the blockchain technology and moving towards smart contracts.
What are smart contracts?
So smart contracts are going to be a way to really simply sum it up for everyone. It's going to be more energy efficient. It's going to be a proof of staking. So instead of running off constant energy consumption, that's the biggest concern behind Bitcoin, it will instead be staked. And the cryptocurrency you stake will be answering questions, if you will, at the end of the day.
Okay. So I mean, how does somebody get into crypto? Like Bitcoin is almost $70,000, right? I mean, that just seems like, okay, there's no way that's going to go any higher. That's just, it seems so unattainable for someone. But you can buy it in bits, right? Like little pieces of one Bitcoin.
So the term for that is Satoshis. Bitcoin's actually broken down to, which is after the name creator himself, Satoshi.
Has anybody seen this man or woman?
No one knows where Satoshi is. Some speculate he might be dead. He has the biggest Bitcoin wallet in existence, but it's never moved.
So it's probably aliens.
It very well could be aliens at this point. Elon Musk himself.
So what else is going? Like I hear about banks like adapting this, and when I was down in Iowa a couple months ago, I was at this venue and they had an ATM machine, and right next to it they had a Bitcoin ATM machine. Have you heard of that?
I have. It's a trend I'm not very familiar with, but anything that brings attention to Bitcoin is good attention. It's really just to bring the average consumer closer, people who aren't necessarily going to be on their computer searching up on websites like Coinbase where I can buy Bitcoin. Instead, they might walk by and it catches their eye.
I see. So, yeah, so the platforms to buy Bitcoin, you have Coinbase, you have Robinhood. I feel like there was a...
So you have some trading brokerages as well getting into it, like Webull, along with Robinhood. They're a good one.
Is a trading brokerage something like a Thrivent, like an actual financial planning company that... Are they adapting it?
A lot speculate they might be companies such as Fidelity. Right now, they just have companies such as Grayscale running trust through Bitcoin that are more of an ETF.
An ETF, is there an NFT or is it what is a, shoot, I don't even know what I'm saying. There's some artists. I ran into one a couple days ago. She was smiling from ear to ear. And I walk up and I'm like, hey, what's going on? You look really happy. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
She made $4,000 from a simple drawing of a leaf that she turned into
an NFT. As it's called, which stands for non-fungible token.
Okay. So how do we doodle and get paid on that?
So you're going to be going through different sites for that. I'm not familiar with. I'm not an artist, but I do know that it's like take an old comic book of Spider-Man. You bought that first edition and held on to it. Mm-hmm. With an NFT where it's different is you have a digital signature attached to it.
Okay.
So it's going to be into the world of art, but instead it has a digital signature attached to it. So it's very unique. You can't replicate it in any way.
And you can sell it?
You can sell it.
Is that how people are making money, or is that where the value comes from? Is that how this gal made $4,000?
Yeah. So she would have put it into a marketplace in which it would have just been determined like most assets. The next person determines they want to pay more than the last person for it.
And what she said was the day that she did this little drawing of a leaf, and she instantly made $400.
Oh, that's amazing.
And then 2 days later, she got the notification that somebody bought that for $4,000.
Wow. And it doesn't surprise me. We currently have what's called a crypto rock that's sold for $1 million this year.
Wow.
Which is a picture of a rock.
How can that sustain itself? Like, how is this not going to just fall off and not really be anymore?
I do believe most of them will.
Yeah.
At the same time, we're currently in a state where we're printing a lot of money, and the money's got to go somewhere.
It was described to me that I should think of investing in cryptocurrency as a super awesome bank account, and as opposed to having a savings account at one of the banks, you buy crypto and it sits in that account, and it really only grows. It does stair step, but it's kind of like a long haul investment. But it's crazy. You can take it out anytime, right?
Yeah, you can take it out whenever you want, and it's really a way to beat inflation, where when your money's sitting in your bank account, it's not doing anything for you. It's maybe at 0.7% in some savings accounts, where in crypto, you can stake it with companies as low as 1.5 APY.
Wow.
There's average companies out there like, I believe they're BlockFi going for 6% APY.
Claire?
Yeah.
Are you buying crypto? Are you invested in crypto at all?
My silence is the answer. I know nothing. I'm very intrigued, but I'm so naive to it. So
When we mention cryptocurrency, what project comes to mind?
project?
What cryptocurrency?
I don't even know what that means.
So like you got Dogecoin or the Dogecoin.
See, I don't even know how to
Bitcoin.
say it.
That's why I ask. That's the first that usually
That's
comes to
the
people's
level of
mind.
understanding I have of it. I'm intrigued, but I am so naive.
So that's
And
actually
I know I'm gonna have to jump on that bandwagon sooner or later.
well, yeah,
and
because
start learning.
there's probably a ton of people, and like I knew nothing about it. Absolutely, and I still feel like I don't know anything about it, but I did take that risk, and I'm like, okay, well, I started putting my tip money from my shows all towards crypto. I'm really
Sure.
glad I did because it's grown, and
Yeah,
I'm
has
like,
it really?
shit, why didn't I do this earlier?
Yeah.
So-
I'm not against it. I am a little overwhelmed on learning about it. But I know I need to get to it pretty soon. I want to stick with the times.
Well, I know of this really cool podcast that's going to be coming out that you could get educated, Claire.
Perfect.
With your tip strategy, I wanted to touch back to that. That goes something with what they call the dollar cost averaging strategy. Have you heard of it before?
No.
So essentially, you're going to determine weekly, monthly, an amount of money you're comfortable with. You can cut out costs of your life, say that one weekly trip to the bar, cut out some cigarettes, something that's just not healthy in your life, and repurpose that into cryptocurrency. So you're going to take from $10 to $100. If you can do more, great. And just every week or month, consistently put that into cryptocurrency. And over time, that'll grow and beat the market.
Okay. I understand the concept, but is this just basically a how to budget?
It's a way to budget and a way to not time the market. That's the biggest problem people have with cryptocurrency is they're on the sidelines waiting for that right time to strike. And they never strike.
Like a month or two ago when it dropped back down to 35 or whatever it did,
Exactly.
we all should have bought it because it went from 65 down to 35, and then now it's wherever it is. It's back up past 65, right?
Yeah, and it's really breaking down that mindset of trying to find that right time. When do I buy it? What's the market doing? When you look at it, it's constantly a roller coaster between lately $50,000 and now our new all-time high of coming up $68,000.
Yeah, that's a pretty awesome bank account. So anyway,
But that's the thing with it. It's not doesn't have to be a full bank account. With Bitcoin, you can break it down into Satoshis and buy much smaller trace amounts of it.
right. And that's what I've done. I've never been able to afford an entire Bitcoin.
I wish I could myself. I started myself with a 0.01 Satoshi.
0.01. And then if it's too personal, we can edit this out. But like, what has that grown to for you since doing that?
Sure. So the one we'll get into is Ethereum. Ethereum, I started out in December 2020 and put in about $1,000. And just when I checked that yesterday, that account alone has grown to $10,000.
Wow. That's really awesome.
And then on top of that, I've then dollar cost averaged into various other projects as well.
So I want to figure out how to do that. Because I actually decided 2 days ago that I'm gonna stop drinking for 90 days.
Yep.
I'm gonna do it for my health and, try to beat the winter. I put on, insulation during the winter time. And I like beer. So I'm just gonna try that. So like if I wanted to dollar cost average what I was spending in beer a week or a month, how do I set that up? Is that something manually? I go to my bank account or go into whatever, what am I trying to say? Store, commerce spot and put it there instead?
So where I would start with that is going to Coinbase. On Coinbase, you can do that either on your computer or on your phone. And through them, they'll actually have an option that you can set up that you tell them how much you want to pull out of your account every weekly or monthly.
Awesome.
Yeah, it takes all of that hassle, stress out of it for you. You just kind of click and forget.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool. I mean, what a motivator to maybe look at, where you're spending your money on just stupid shit, Pardon my language. I don't know if we're allowed to cuss on this podcast, but I did.
And for me, how I looked at it, a lot of us are in that place. We would love to be, whether it's a first-time buyer, buy that new expense, that new bike, that new truck, but saving can be really hard. And so what better of a way just to every week put aside $10, and then not only does that grow over time for you, it's exponentially grows.
And you get to say, okay, this $10 per week, I want to go to whatever crypto.
Yep.
And it's only going to go to that one, like Bitcoin or Ethereum.
If you did the kind of automated one, but I prefer to actually manually do it.
Sure.
And pick a list of, say, 10 projects you really believe in, do some what's called D&D, due diligence on it, and just consistently always invest into them. That's the thing. Even when you see the market's really scary, when you see the market's doing really well, just sticking with it.
In it for the long haul. Well, that's cool. When we're done with our little project today, might have you show me how to do that, to get myself set up in my Coinbase.
I'd be happy to.
Yeah, that's really exciting. Well, should we take a pause, make a coffee?
Yeah, that sounds good.
And then we'll come back. Actually, there is another question about the crypto that I've heard about from this artist that made that $4,000. She says, "Oh, you can do this with music, like jingles or whatever." And I've got stuff like that I feel like I could maybe put out there.
Oh, absolutely. It actually goes deeper than that. There's a few projects. I'll have to look them up and we'll bring them to you after the break. But the big idea behind them is cutting out the middleman in the music industry, taking out that person who profits from you, the artist, and instead bringing all of that money to you directly from the consumer.
That sounds great. I get a check from iTunes like once a year, and it's for like 0.0001 pennies. I mean, these streaming services, unless you've made it huge, like say Joe Rogan's podcast, he's making most of his money from the sponsorships. The amount of money an artist makes off of streaming is ridiculous, and it's getting much harder to actually buy an album. You know what I mean? Unless I sell it off my website, and then I have to send it out and do all that kind of stuff. It's just the streaming is really not in the favor at all of the creators.
No, and that's why I really hope we move towards some decentralization.
Yes, amen. All right, we're going to take a little break here. Now, a word from our sponsors. We've got Miss Claire. She's a successful real estate agent from Hudson, Wisconsin. She's got a wonderful son. She enjoys riding a Harley. She's smiling right now. It's probably too early for this. She didn't know.
Monday. Tuesdays are my Monday.
All right, we'll be back. Yeah, we don't get weekends in the real estate biz.
Monday is our Monday.
Sunday, Monday, fun day. But it's Tuesday. Oh man, that cup of coffee was so nice.
Yeah, that was just a really good light roast from Ethiopia.
Gosh, man, I tell you what. How do you clean out one of those Keurig machines anyway?
You just put it in the trash.
I bring it back to Target.
Have you ever thought about
Tonight, so far it's been raining so hard.
That or you just go buy another one and return it, the old one.
Yep. Done that too.
I was told by a coffee roaster up in Alaska, great coffee. We should order some for the team for Christmas. But I was told just how dirty those Keurigs get, like in the hose, the plastic hoses, and they can never be cleaned out, and they're just filthy.
Yeah, I grind my own beans every morning and do a pour over.
Nice. Oh yeah, pour overs are good. Have you heard of the AeroPress? Have you heard of one of those?
Yeah.
Those are really cool. Like super compact. You can do it pour over style, or you can do like a French press, or you can do it real concentrated like an espresso.
Yep. Yeah, I have a French press, but my go-to is the pour over.
Yep. It's the quickest, isn't it?
No.
Really?
No, but it's like the purest form, that like the flavor of beans that you get out of it. The profile is just like, it'll take Folgers to a whole nother level.
Wait a second. So you're telling me that you use Folgers?
No.
Oh, okay. Because that's
No, poor example, but it makes the coffee experience just way better.
Man, coffee's so good. We should do a whole episode on coffee beans and how to make coffee properly. I'd be up for that. I'd be really wired though. We'll wait till weed is legal.
Good balance.
So, Anton Martinez.
It's pronounced Martinez.
Martinez. Antonio Banderas. Yo quiero Taco Bell. Anton is on the Snyder team with me. Great dude. How long have you been doing real estate?
Year and a half.
Do you like it?
I love it.
Why do you love it?
I was in a career prior to this for 24 years where I was in a store for 24 years. Probably reached my maximum growth. And then once I found real estate and the team, like I just enjoy the opportunity to really just kind of make as much money as I feasibly can and have it all be my responsibility.
Yeah, it's on you. You are in your own control of your destiny. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like it's going from getting a paycheck every week to not knowing when you're going to get a paycheck really has some motivation behind it.
100%. It does. Like I can totally relate. Playing music my whole life and just paycheck to paycheck, just going after the gigs. And like if I didn't go after them, I didn't eat, or I ate top ramen and
Water.
Yeah, I'd actually be able to afford the jelly with the peanut butter.
Nice.
Peanut butter and jelly. Claire, you can laugh.
Are you talking about the kind that the jelly is mixed in with the peanut butter?
Oh, gross.
I can't afford that.
I was going to say, that's some bougie condiment.
That is bougie.
So do you have to keep that in the fridge? Or is that shelf? I keep jelly.
I think that weird probably doesn't need to be refrigerated. It's got a shelf. It's got a pretty extensive shelf life.
Well, what about that bologna bologna grosses me out, but the bologna with like the stuff in the bologna, like the pimentos and the olives, and have you ever seen that kind of bologna?
Yeah. I grew up eating like the Oscar Mayer bologna sandwiches. Those are phenomenal.
Well,
American cheese.
American cheese, America. Mayonnaise or Miracle Whip?
Both.
At the same time?
No, like either one, depending on the application.
Okay. Totally off subject. I had a really good question for you. And I don't remember what my question was, but it doesn't matter. So back to the real estate thing. You've been doing real estate for a year and a half, and you have 4 kids?
4 kids, yeah.
That's awesome, man. And you're married?
Married.
Cool. So what do you have going on in real estate today? What are you doing?
I just finished helping one of our teammates out with one of his clients that are out looking at a property, which I think is going to work out for them. They're super excited about the home. Not one of those situations where they're going to have to go $30,000 over asking, waive all kinds of stuff. It's a beautiful home that they'll be able to put a little elbow grease into and have a lot of equity to grow into over the next couple of years. So great home. Then later on this evening after dinner, I have a listing appointment to go on and have a couple other buyers to kind of figure out what they want to do.
Yeah, I had a really fun time with you this weekend going up north and showing houses and meeting people and going fishing.
Yeah, it'll be sweet if we can get that listing over there on Connors Lake.
Yeah, that's going to be super sweet. And it was great. I got hit a couple times on a little Senko worm. It was like a 50-inch muskie or something. It had to have been huge.
Yeah, just smacking that.
It was smacking it, but we didn't catch any fish. We were bank fishing.
Yeah, you were having some good success with that little wacky worm, and I mean I threw about everything else out at the water that we could. Floating rapala, jointed, little curly tail with a grub with a jig. What else? Jeez.
That lake was really promising. That lake looked sweet. I think it was 15 or 20 feet in the deepest part, and it had sand, muck, and floating vegetation.
Yeah, and private. That's unreal.
Yep.
And I mean, surrounded by tons of other great lakes, Devil's Lake, Yellow, actually, no, I was neighboring to Voyager Village. So probably the property line at some point probably touched Voyager Village or just right down the road.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize we were that close to Voyager Village.
Yeah, just probably a mile down the road.
I should have stopped in to see my clients. I'm closing on a house here on the 12th, and they're right there. I had no idea that we were that close. I thought it was a little further.
No, when you said you were going to the golf course right after, I assumed you were just going to go to the Voyager Village golf course, but you headed the other direction.
Yeah, the secret Balsam Lake golf course. There's a golf course there.
Balsam Lake's sweet.
Balsam Lake is super sweet. I've caught some big fish out of that lake. Big northern.
I have a buddy that has a place over there, and last summer we went and didn't catch a damn thing. Except for a buzz.
Well, tell us about that potential listing without giving the address or anything.
Yeah. 10 acres. I guess you can call it right on Connors Lake. A street divides the property, but they have the property shore that is directly across the small street is private property. It belongs. It's deeded to the homeowner. Had an old hangar, airplane hangar that was made into another living space. I believe it has the heated floors. I found that out. Has a full living room, full kitchen, 1 bedroom, 2 beds, full bath. That's just in the renovated garage. The main house had, I guess you can call it 2 bedrooms, 3-season porch. I'm assuming all of the quote unquote guts of the home, like the plumbing and everything, has been done to the highest standards. Like the quality of the home is just unbelievable, and there's marsh right behind it. Like no neighbors on either side for quite a ways.
That 3-season porch was really something. It had that like a bed in it, or really like a couch that you'd see inside a huge grand room overlooking that back marsh. It was really beautiful.
Oh, and that fireplace is...
The fireplace, what? Santa Claus could easily slide down that thing.
Yep, easily.
I mean, it's right in the center of the room, kind of separates the kitchen. It's almost like the only wall in that grand room.
Yeah, and
right?
all that stone going from floor to ceiling is just unbelievable. And the 2-car tuck under garage is super awesome there too.
Now the pole barn was probably just as impressive as the house, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it had like it had a cabin inside the pole barn. It felt like there was a cabin and the pole barn was built around it.
Yeah, brand new lift in there so you can, park your vehicle, lift it up, have just a ton of more space.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive. But that was a really fun day. Then afterwards, and we still hadn't caught a fish at this point, we went down to Webster to check out this little listing we have. And we found this really nice couple, and turns out they need to list their house. So that's where you're headed tonight, right?
Yeah, yep, that's the appointment going on tonight. And what cool neighbors, huh?
Oh, yeah. So I walk over to introduce myself to the neighbors just because I hadn't met them yet. And they instantly became best friends with these potential buyers, which is fantastic.
Yeah, nothing like good neighbors.
Oh, it was really cool. Like, it was hard to pull them apart. I think the buyer, he's a construction guy for like 50 years. And so the neighbor's asking if this buyer would actually build a fence for him. So he might have even got some work from the neighbor already. And then the neighbor comes out and hands us 2 completely filled gallon bags of fish, filleted, cleaned, caught the night before. So we actually got fish that day, even though we didn't catch any.
Yeah, I mean, but who knows?
Who knows? Oh, well, we can edit that out. We just have to go fishing again.
But, I mean, in addition to those properties and the clients that we were able to, meet, and, that drone footage that you were able to capture of both those properties is just, like, mind-blowing. Like, to be able to document property lines, what that upward angle view or downward angle view from that drone is just, it's mind-blowing. It's a game changer.
Yeah, it's fun. I love bringing it out and just throwing it up and seeing what the topography is. I've always been into maps, so to see it from a bird's eye view is just really, really cool. Yeah, so good luck on your appointment today, and I really look forward to developing this podcast with you guys. Claire, you have to be on the podcast too. Like,
I am so busy wrapping up all of these closings before the holidays. I'm sorry, I've been so quiet.
actually, you've been like the loudest. That copy machine.
I know.
But we don't have an official studio built yet, but maybe we will.
So, Claire, how many closings do you have already on the books for the next month or two?
I'm wrapping up 4 closings before Christmas. So
That's nice. I know I got 3 this month. I'm not going to be able to be there for 2 of them, though. Kind of sad about that.
Why not?
Because I'm going to Savannah.
Oh,
you know what I do if I can't be present for a closing? I usually will FaceTime them while they're there.
Well, I don't mind that part much. It's the final walkthrough that I'm
Oh.
kind of bummed out about.
Well, if you need help with doing any walkthroughs, let us know. That's what we're all here for. I know a lot of colleagues on the Snyder team have helped me if I'm not around. It's like, hey, will you take my clients, please, to just do a walkthrough? So,
yeah.
happy to help.
I don't know if I'd be able to, being that I'm only licensed in Wisconsin, but I'd be happy to if I'm able to, or if I'm allowed to, or Devin. Or that's one of the great things about the Snyder team is that I feel like super supported. It's a great. Everybody's great. I like everybody, and it seems like each time I come into the office, I get to meet somebody new. Did you meet that new lady? I forget it. I don't remember her name.
I think there's 3.
Oh,
There's-
okay.
We've got a good handful of some.
There's Joey, there's Angela, and then there's the Popo from St. Paul. Nicole.
Okay.
She's one of my closest, one of my cousins is also in law enforcement downtown St. Paul and knows her very well. And I said, hey, Nicole's on our team now. And he said, don't meet her in a dark alley.
She's business, huh?
Yep. So I will not challenge her in any way, shape, or form.
Is our team meeting? We have a team meeting tomorrow in
No.
here?
It actually got moved to next week.
Oh, well, that's cool. That means the office might be empty.
Katie will probably be here.
Katie's cool.
Katie's amazing.
She's pretty awesome. Where's she today?
She's home office today.
Nice.
I think working on some of the crap that you and I put on her.
Oops.
I was hoping she was going to be in today. I always like coming off of a weekend because she always acts like she's so interested in what I've been up to. I don't know if she actually is, but
Oh, she's a
Tell us
sweetheart.
about your weekend.
No.
We can edit out.
that's me and Katie's ritual.
Well, we'll make sure
Girls,
Katie's here next
for the
time.
girls.
Well, should we? So some of our team, they're out at a EXP event.
Yep, down in Vegas. XPON. What the hell?
Con.
EXP Con. Yeah, our team lead, one of our team leads. I think 2 or 3 of our other team members are there. I think Bob's he's probably hunting.
They're definitely not poolside. They're getting leads.
Oh yeah, totally getting
When
leads.
I went 2 years ago, I learned a lot about EXP.
That's good.
Did you retain it?
Believe it or not, yes, actually. I mean, how cool is it to be able to say, for me, I joined this team in this brokerage, and 36 hours later, I'm on a 5 a.m. flight with Bob and Jen Snyder and a couple other members of the Snyder team to Vegas for the biggest conference for a brokerage, like, in the world. How awesome is that?
Yeah.
what an
Yeah, I think
opportunity.
Grant Cardone is one of the speakers. Who's that?
Venus Williams.
Venus Williams.
there?
Oh,
Oh, man.
She's a badass.
Is that the tennis player?
Yeah, her and her sister are like just rock stars. I think they just had a movie made about them that came out recently.
Yeah. Well, I mean, EXP is a great company. I'm totally new to the real estate deal, and before I chose my brokerage, I did interview some other companies, and several of my friends who are agents across the country, they're telling me, do yourself a favor and look into EXP. It's a great business model, and I couldn't imagine myself being in another brokerage. It's pretty cool. We'll do a podcast and really focus on the EXP and what it is. And if anybody has questions, just reach out to one of us on the Snyder team.
Condo downtown Minneapolis.
Oh, wow. Is that being built?
Yeah, they're getting renovated. And I have a good friend of mine who is on a renovation crew, so he goes to like all the swanky places and does all the demo and gets them all ready.
Cool. Should we maybe call Gwen, or should we call somebody in Vegas right now and just?
Fun to talk to.
They I would imagine they're probably going through meetings and stuff like that. I would imagine.
Well, they're 1 hour or 2 hours before us.
2 hours.
So they're 2 hours behind us. And it is, what, noon? Noon right now. So 10 a.m.
They're
No,
probably having a
they're
Bloody
sitting in
Mary.
big thing right now.
Oh, and everybody's talking except for Gwen. She's off on the side on a phone call,
That's true.
and that's okay. It's probably business. I wish we could call somebody.
Then we have another EXP conference meeting thing in Cabo coming up, I think.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It's sold out though, isn't it?
I thought it was only like the first hotel that we were
Oh,
at.
really?
I don't know if
I would go to that.
yeah, Cabo sounds sweet. I've never been to Cabo.
Me neither.
I want to go there just actually to fish.
Well, we don't have to go to the conference. I mean, we can go to Cabo and just go fish.
I suppose if it's sold out,
Yeah.
we can come back and powwow at the end of the night.
Yeah.
What'd you guys learn?
Oh, we recruited some agents out on the fishing boat.
Yeah.
You know.
Javier is joining us soon.
Adding some diversity.
Well, here, let's see here. So you think Bob's in a deer? If we call Bob right now, are we going to chase away his big buck?
He won't fucking answer.
He better have his phone on silent.
Oh, he
He
would.
does it.
Shoot.
One way to find out. Live from the deer stand.
Yeah, we're gonna see if Bob. He might have been out since morning. He might be.
You've reached the mobile voicemail system for Bob Snyder.
That is true. It is
Please leave your name, telephone number, and a detailed message, and I'll get back to you as soon as I'm able.
All right. 9:30 tops.
See, he's in a deer stand.
He is in a deer stand right now. He sits on something like 300 acres, doesn't he? And yeah, I think that's, or maybe 350. And he's doing deer management this year, so he's trying to clear out some does, I think. And
You know, it's a fun fact that I just figured out this year about deer hunting. You have to, I think a good deer hunter, you obviously want to prevent your human smells from being in the area. So they actually sell like doe, I don't know if it's urine or...
You just learned this?
I did just learn this.
Okay,
Because
so- You know
Wait.
what,
The hunter's cologne.
People's spouses will do to sabotage their hunting? They'll wash their hunting clothes in a regular load of laundry.
Well, see,
That's
and
like what a
I,
lot of wives and girlfriends do is sabotage their boyfriends and husbands.
why would they do that?
because
I don't know.
they're gone.
I'm the wife/girlfriend going hunting, providing for my family.
You're cheating hard. That would cause that, maybe.
Yeah, so that I don't know why that just blows my mind. You got to soak yourself in doe pheromones. Like that's
What do you do when you go to the bar? What do? You soak yourself in?
go to the
Pheromones.
go to the bar.
Pheromones.
Go to the I don't
You
know.
know Armani, duh. I'm kidding.
So, I mean, wouldn't you be worried about getting like bucked by a buck?
I mean, I got charged by one a couple years ago walking to my stand, but
Were you covered in doe urine?
no, they're just
you
loopy.
drank all night the night before. I peed the bed. So last night I was over at my buddy Ben's house in Somerset. He's got a big pole barn. He's letting me store my fishing kayaks up in the rafters. And he had to go get his son to a basketball game. And he came back. He's like, Snyder, get in the truck. There's a huge buck. And so we went driving all around, and he's describing this buck. I guess it had these, are they called paddles? And he said they look like caribou. They belonged on a caribou.
Oh yeah, they get like a deformity on their antlers.
So it had the full antlers, but then these paddles. And he said it was just a monster buck. So on my way home last night, I was trying to drive real slow, and there were so many does out. Now that because I was looking for them, I'm like, wow, it'd be so easy to just run into your car. You ever hit a deer, anybody?
I've had a deer hit me,
No.
like ran into the side of my vehicle. Anton saw a big papa over in the burbs.
Yeah, I was
Sent me a Snapchat.
it was about an 8-point buck chasing down this lady, and then I saw this little 2-pointer behind him, like trying to run game on the doe, and so Big Papa was like, "Hey, young buck, you better get out of here." Started chasing him down in like neighbors' yards. I'm like, this is pretty cool.
Anton's doing like voices for all of them,
Yeah. That's perfect.
coming up with a storyline.
Yes, that would be great.
Like
Piece together a bunch of cell phone footage of your narration.
that was like, for whatever reason, that was the first like time it hit me that all these old school dudes that I've known over the years, they've always been like, hey, young buck, you better settle down. I'm like, oh, okay, now I got it. I got it.
I had this idea the other day for the next song I want to write, and it's gonna be called Buck Doe. Buck Doe. You know, like
Duck, Gray
Gee,
Duck?
or but Buck Doe, and it's always two bucks fighting over a doe. Or anyway, I think that's way funnier than you guys think. So
Yeah, it's
Clearly.
it's hilarious.
all right, well, that's Anton, folks. He's one of the hosts of the podcast here, and we got Devin. Devin's our crypto king. Very smart individual, very tech savvy.
Not to be mistaken with Devin the Dude.
Who's that?
You don't know who Devin the Dude is?
No.
He's like, really? He's a rapper.
I've heard of Little Dicky. Have you heard of Little Dicky?
I have. His show is hilarious.
It's ridiculous. Is he seriously that popular? Or is it from the show, or was his rap actually more?
That's a good question.
You know what I mean? If you haven't heard his music, you gotta. I mean,
I think Devin the Dude has a song about like pooping on the toilet.
Oh.
I should see if I can find it.
well,
Here's a picture of him, Devin the Dude.
Should I ask my 6-year-old? Would he know who this
Oh,
is?
he's like my kind of generation, so probably not.
Oh, okay. Well, when you said he has a song about pooping on the toilet, I assumed.
Would you assume?
One of his songs is Doobie Ashtray.
Doobie Ashtray. Okay. Speaking of bathroom break, I need to visit. Devin, you can come hop on this microphone and talk to Anton if you want to. You want to? Yeah, come on over. We'll just keep this thing rolling.
Continuing it.
Yeah,
Do you want to continue talking? It's kind of cool to hear your deep baritone voice. Anton, as soon as I heard his voice, I'm like, dude, we got to do a podcast.
my voice does sound pretty good on here.
Yeah, it does.
We should do like an evening podcast.
To some jazz music?
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
All right, we're going to be back. We're going to take a very short break. And when we get back, we're going to prank phone call somebody. We may even have Devin talk some more about this crypto world, this crazy crypto world we're living in. I think he had an appointment this morning.
Live in the field. Where's Waldo?
Where's Waldo? He listens to a lot of reggae and hip hop, so I wonder if. Do we get
You have reached Anton Martinez with EXP Realty, the Snyder team.
ghosted?
Leave me a voice message after the beep or send me a text message, and I will get back to you as soon as I can.
Yeah, my name's Johnny B, and me and Betsy, we're coming up from Alabama, and we're looking for a little spot to maybe just sit down, and we raise baby alligators, and we got a alligator tail business, and we travel around the state fairs and fry them up, and then we cut off some of the teeth, and we have a little petting zoo for kids, and we just wanted to see if maybe you have a piece of property that you could get to us, and maybe we could just sit and caretake it for a couple of years while we look for something. All right, give me a call back, Anton.
We're out toilet paper.
All right. First prank call. So that's how the prank calls go, but it's really funny when you get them on the phone.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
that'd be fun.
yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I've gotten like really fucking weird calls though before. Like,
I haven't called you yet.
well, I never answer, so there's that.
There's that.
I bet Bob would answer.
I get a few groovy like leads where they're like texting, asking for like, yeah, and I usually I'll banter back a little just cause.
Yeah. Well, actually the last series of prank phone calls that I made, were to some people I didn't know that a friend wanted me to call, and I ended up really pissing all of them off.
Oh, really?
Oh, they got so mad. They got so bent out of shape.
That was before you became a realtor, right?
No, I was definitely a realtor. They threatened to leave me bad reviews.
Oh,
I know. They Googled my phone number, and I didn't block my phone number. So then they found out who it was, and it's like, oh, Chris.
That's really funny. You're like, oh, lighten up.
Yeah, well,
I do believe that's what they call a Karen.
yeah.
The meta.
Verse.
Meta.
What is the metaverse?
Well, you see, the metaverse was a famously coined term from the 1992 novel Snow Crash. The metaverse, think back to the days of RuneScape. It's simply an online virtual world in which you create an avatar and you escape the real world for a bit.
So it's like a video game.
It's a video game. It's the future of video games.
So it's a virtual reality, kind of, right?
Correct. Within different platforms, one known as Decentraland. That's where a lot of the corporations are moving towards at this time.
So you'd mentioned earlier that what's going on is Facebook feels like that it's outgrown its platform and it needs to move on to greener pastures.
Yeah, just recently, Zuckerberg urged all of the users, urged the company to really shift their mindsets, looking at it that Facebook has outgrown the social media platform. And to really be modern, we need to move towards these virtual business meetings, virtual stores, virtual get-togethers, a place that we can connect face-to-face, but on a metaverse.
And so you're able to interact like you would in the real world. Say you want to buy something or, is it like a peer-to-peer interaction with, say, cryptocurrency and these NFTs?
So what the metaverse will be, we're just at the beginning stage of. There's so many possibilities, but as I see it, exactly right. It's going to be a place in which you can go to a virtual coffee shop, you can go to a virtual art gallery, and you can buy NFTs online, for example, something we talked about a little previously.
Were we recording when we talked about that, though?
I'm not sure.
I don't remember if we were. I ran into the girl in the bar, and she had posted this NFT, and immediately she made $400. It was a picture of a leaf, and then 4 days later is when I saw her smiling at the bar, ordering a bloody or whatever, and I'm like, "Why are you so happy? You just look super happy." And she's like, "This piece of art, I just sold it. I just made $4,000." That's crazy.
It's crazy, but it's not crazy. Earlier this year, there was actually an NFT of a rock sold for over $1 million. And in case we didn't cover it, let me just jump on into that quickly. So NFT stands for non-fungible token. And what these are is they can be broken down into fractal ownership for things like real estate. So someone, a homeowner, could sell part of their property to a large number of investors into a form of tokenized real estate. This is something we already see. But in this sense, it would be moved to a blockchain technology.
Interesting. And how does the blockchain work? Is that how crypto is mined?
That's one form of it. Blockchain technology is something we can dive into in a full episode, but really to shortly sum it up, yes, it is a more decentralized version of the future. It's something that we're moving away from a centralized platform such as Zillow and bring it more to the consumer on an individual level.
So peer-to-peer.
Peer-to-peer.
That's very interesting. You had mentioned something about Zillow. Can you speak on that? I was pretty interested to hear about that.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of us have seen recently on the headlines, Zillow had their iBuyer program recently collapse. They had said that they had an algorithm problem, that they were overestimating for buyers on their home purchase and essentially overpaying the last couple of years.
Really? So what's going on?
So what's going on is they were using a AVM model to determine what the house is worth. This data would compress a ton of data to come up with an offer price. Ultimately, Zillow thought that by taking out the realtor of the equation, who simply has a gut feeling, that they were going to be able to time the market.
They're going to be able to time the market. So, well, that sounds interesting. I know we get, as realtors, we get Zillow leads, and I haven't interacted with too many clients from Zillow, but I could definitely understand why, how it's so convenient to be able to pick up your phone and look at houses, and then it somehow you either go through one of those apps that must give all the leads to people that pay the most money.
That's my understanding of it. I haven't worked Zillow leads myself, but I do know that this model has completely failed on Zillow. And in return, in the past month, their stock is down 25%. When compared to EXPI, we're actually up 8% in the past month.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer. EXP's awesome.
It's the future.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part about EXP?
I like how I feel at any time of the day I can go into that virtual world and walk up to somebody's desk that's actually live there in front of their computer and interact with them.
So you're telling me that EXPI is already on the metaverse?
Yeah, that's actually what this is reminding me of. So that's kind of cool. I mean, that's one of the reasons I feel supported. The other thing I really like about it is that going back to that, what's the term for the crypto, when you're appropriating your
dollar cost averaging.
Dollar cost averaging. So that's just the way they buy their employees' stock. That whole program is really, I think, fantastic.
Yeah, their stock revenue sharing program is actually what pulled me into EXPI myself. The idea that I can go out, sell houses, and then additionally be paid in stocks from EXPI that are going to increase over time.
Yeah, that's really, really cool.
And I love it yourself that we do have a form of the metaverse. I can go on there with IT questions, for example, and pull a number. I wait in a little virtual waiting room and then am pulled to a table for them to take over my computer and help me troubleshoot.
Yeah, that's really cool. A little freaky, but cool.
It's the future. Let's hope other companies go that direction.
Yeah, everybody just start working from home, less traffic on the road. That would be pretty nice. So what else you want to talk about?
There's one other thing with the metaverse I wanted to touch on. I want your opinion as another realtor.
Okay.
So the metaverse currently has this company called MetaVerse Property, in which people are buying digital real estate. What's your opinion on that?
I don't even know what that means.
I don't even know what it means myself either. It's such a new concept, but from my understanding in the metaverse, you are able to buy plots of land currently for around $7,000, and they're going through brokerages that are online to buy this.
Okay. Oh, I mean,
is this a next to be Zillow situation? Will this be something that'll work out? Where do you see it going?
Well, is the metaverse a land like Google Earth that this building is here, and this is actually my house? And
so the metaverse is a broad term. There's actually multiple different companies who are going to be competing to be that metaverse. Almost be like from we switched to MySpace to Facebook. They want to be that pioneer.
Wow. I mean, I just don't they already sell virtual real estate by when you sign up for a website, the hosting.
Absolutely.
That spot. So essentially it's spots like that are now 3D and virtual. That is so crazy.
And right now they're being run without actual realtors. One of my questions is, will that be something that you need to have a license for in the future?
Possibly. I mean, you need to register your drone as a recreational flyer over so many grams.
You mentioned drones. Mm-hmm. I know you use drones for a bit in real estate. What do you do with that?
Well, I really like being able to send it up and get a bird's eye view, to be able to look down at the land. I've always been into maps. And so to be able to fly a drone and get that perspective, it's really fun for me. And the other thing I like about it is the camera capability. Just going up and taking pictures and hyperlapses of sunsets and sunrises. As far as real estate goes, I haven't charged for my service. All I've done is offer, like when I'm showing a property or a house, I always throw my drone up for my clients and show them the lay of the land and take some pictures and send those with them.
As a client, I would love that.
Right? I mean, yeah. So, I think that's my favorite thing. I'm really into these stories of fishing and kind of presenting it in kind of like a documentary format. I've always been into that. And so I've been using that drone to capture a lot of the points in those videos where I'm going to narrate. It's just really spectacular footage.
I know just recently you got a chance to use your drone. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. Well, you mean yesterday or down in Oklahoma?
The cool shot you showed of the seagulls.
Oh, yeah. So my buddy Ben and I were out on the lake, and it's kind of dark, and we're coming back, and I threw my drone up just to follow the boat and took it pretty high. And all of a sudden, in my camera, or my controller, I use my phone for my viewer. It's my transmission. I see the water lifting up almost. Like these little white specks are just all of a sudden in motion. And they were nearly invisible before they had lifted off the water. And it was thousands of seagulls. And so I got this really cool shot of the boat basically parting the seagulls' ways. They just all lifted up and then float over and settled.
Oh, that's beautiful. Sounds straight out of National Geographic.
Yeah, it's a really cool shot. I don't even know the name of my YouTube channel, but I should plug it. If anybody has ever heard of jugging for catfish, or if you want to hear about it, learn about it, it's on my YouTube channel right now.
While you look for that, what is jugging for catfish?
Well, you got to watch the video, but it reminds me of a southern version of ice fishing. If you don't have ice, jugging is like pretty similar. And all right, my YouTube channel. You can type in "jugging for blues." That's the name of the video. That's me talking there. Here. Christopher Snyder. It's a picture of me playing my guitar, and that's the channel. Maybe I should figure out how to come up with a better intro to my YouTube channel, but next time. So yeah, you have 60 feet of line, and it goes all the way down to a 2-pound weight that's all the way deep. And then the top of that cord is anchored to a piece of PVC pipe that's been wrapped with one of those noodles, the pool noodles. This is not noodling, folks. And you put a couple J hooks up from that weight, like every 6 feet, and you bait them, and you just let those float around in the lake, and they float vertically.
Sounds like a fun time,
dude. Yeah, we're kayak fishing, and these catfish were just monsters. We got into some big cats. So,
what's the biggest one you guys got?
30 pounds.
Wow.
And we caught several that were pushing that much. The ones we kept were between 4 pounds and 10 pounds, maybe a 12-pounder. It was awesome.
So you mentioned a little bit about music in your guitar. Tell me a little bit about that.
Oh, geez. You don't want to hear about that. I've been playing music a long time. I don't even know what you want to talk about. The last show at Ziggy's was really fun.
Well, one thing I wanted to talk about as a new realtor is I know you mentioned you use that as a method of prospecting. It's a good way to get in front of people, talk to people, and they see who you really are.
Yeah. I've spent a lot of my life, 15 years now, in playing music for venues and bars and weddings and all this, that, and the other. And I feel like that's where I want to meet my clients, because we're all just having a good time. And when moving here from Alaska, I got into like old country music, and John Prine and Guy Clark and just all those guys. And I really switched my music, having moved from Alaska, a little more reggae in my style up there, to here, which is like, all right, we're going to play some country music and folk music. And then I'm getting into bluegrass now. And down in the Ozarks, it's called red dirt music. Red dirt. It's good. It's like rockabilly country. It's really good. Gritty.
That sounds like such a great way to meet clients. People are going to have a similar mindset as you.
Yeah, and it's fun just going out and seeing people, and the whole COVID thing really locked me down, and the thing I missed the most was the actual energy in the room between the music and the people enjoying the music.
Yeah. I've missed concerts the most myself over this past couple of years.
I think December 18th is the Ugly Sweater Party at Ziggy's in Stillwater, and the Snyder team is going to be involved. We're going to do some Christmas carols. Rachel's going to sing.
You're not going to want to miss Rachel singing.
Have you heard her sing?
I've heard it's very good.
I can't wait to hear it. Rachel, if you're listening, get ready. You can call in right now if you want to sing us a song. Who else should we try? Should we try another one?
I feel like Matt would answer.
Matt would? All right.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Matt's been on the Snyder team for the longest?
I think so, yeah.
What's up, my man?
Hey, buddy, I just want to disclose to you that you're on the podcast here. We were just, Devin and I were checking in to see how Las Vegas is.
Vegas is fun. The conference hasn't started really yet. It starts at about 1:30 here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we were going to call you. We were going to call you earlier, but we figured you guys were in a big room somewhere.
No, it starts at around 1:30, and then we're going to hit it hard.
Cool, man. When are you going to be coming back to town?
I am back on Thursday.
Okay. Well, dude, travel safe. When you get back into town, I want to tell you about this big buck.
Big what?
I saw a big buck.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, it was huge.
Well, tell me about it when we get back, man.
Yeah, I will.
Enjoy the poolside.
Thanks, man.
All right.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah, tell everybody hi. Bye.
I will.
Let me figure out what voice I should use.
Very nice.
Do you think you would believe me?
I think that's believable. Irvington, Wisconsin, and we do a little bit of hillbilly stuff out there. Right on. Playing with tannerite.
Yeah, let's give a shout out. We recently had somebody, a group, come and join our team and help us with the transaction coordination. And yeah, they're absolutely fantastic to work with. Super timely and reliable, and very open communication. Would you say?
Oh, absolutely. Twin Cities Transaction Coordinators has just been a lovely company to work with. Myself, I had an open house last weekend. I was heading home. My team leader wanted to do another open house. Gave me their number, and within 5 minutes, they'd scheduled another open house for me. As an agent being on the road, this is so useful.
Yeah, very. So, yeah, we'd like to take our hats off to you guys. Thank you. All right, Devin, it's been a lot of fun, man. I'm looking forward to doing this more together and coming up with some cool topics to talk about. We can kind of change it up each time and just give a big shout out to the Snyder team.
You know, I'm excited to see what we do with this. Big shout out to the Snyder team for giving us a space and the opportunity to do this. And it's been a lot of fun, Chris.
Yeah, right.
Maybe I'll see you on the MetaVerse.
Yeah, see you on the MetaVerse, brother. And that concludes the Wood and Water podcast. I sounded really ridiculous.
I love that.
Excuse me.
Make it a beautiful day. Thank you.
Don't you know?